You've seen those photos, right? The ones of a race car or a cyclist where they're perfectly sharp, but the background is just this incredible streaky blur of motion? That's not some kind of camera glitch or a Photoshop trick. Nope, it's a professional technique called panning, and honestly, it's one of the coolest ways to make a still photo feel alive. So today, let's break down exactly how you can master it.
Just look at this shot. The car is crystal clear, you can see every detail, but the world around it, it's just whipping by. It feels fast, it feels dynamic, it's just electric, right? The photo itself isn't moving an inch, so how in the world does it create such a powerful feeling of speed? Well, that's the magic we're about to get into. I love this quote from National Geographic's Jim Richardson. He calls panning a photographic mind game, and that is the perfect way to think about it. You're basically using your camera to play a very clever trick on the viewer's brain.
So, how does this mind game actually work? It's all about giving our brains a specific clue and just letting them fill in the rest of the story. It's simpler than you might think.
See, when your brain sees a sharp object against a blurry, streaked background, it doesn't get confused. It instantly puts the pieces together and goes, aha, that thing must be moving, and moving fast. It's that little moment of understanding that makes looking at a panned photo so incredibly satisfying.
And just like the person looking at the photo has that aha moment, every photographer has one when they finally figure out the simple secret behind this whole technique. And it really all comes down to one word: sync.
So officially, here's the textbook definition. Panning is the technique of moving your camera to follow a moving subject. Your whole goal is to keep that subject in the exact same spot in your frame as you click the shutter. Do that, and the background blurs while your subject stays sharp.
Now, I know what you might be thinking, probably the same thing photographer Jim Richardson thought when he was 13. Wait a minute, you move the camera while you're taking the picture? Isn't that like rule number 1 of what you're not supposed to do? It sounds totally backwards, I get it.
But here it is. This is the secret. If you can move your camera at the exact same speed as your subject, that subject stays perfectly still relative to your camera's sensor. It becomes sharp, while the stationary background blurs behind it. Richardson actually figured this out trying to take pictures of his super-fast beagle, Dixie. By panning in perfect sync with her, she stayed sharp and the background became this beautiful blur of motion.
Okay, you get the theory, you get the mind game. Now for the fun part. Let's get into the playbook and actually turn this idea into a photograph you can take.
This whole thing is about being smooth. First, plant your feet. Face the exact spot where you want to capture the image. As your subject comes into view, find them in your viewfinder and start tracking them. Then, in one fluid motion, rotate your body from the waist, keeping them locked in the frame. Press that shutter button just a split second before they hit that perfect spot, and, this part is absolutely crucial, follow through. Keep panning smoothly even after you hear the shutter click. Think of it like a golf swing.
All right, let's talk camera settings, because this is where the magic really happens. First, you need a pretty slow shutter speed. Start around 1/30th of a second. That's what gives you that awesome motion blur. Then set your camera to continuous autofocus, so it keeps tracking your moving target. And definitely switch to burst mode. This lets you fire off a bunch of shots at once, which, trust me, dramatically increases your odds of getting that one amazing keeper. A medium aperture, like f8 or so, just gives you a little more wiggle room on sharpness.
Now, choosing your subject is key. The best subjects for panning are things that move quickly and, more importantly, predictably. Think in a straight line like cyclists, runners, or cars on a road. Slower subjects like a person just walking, they just don't create enough blur to look cool. And subjects that move all over the place like a football player or a bird, well, they're just incredibly hard to track smoothly.
And here's a little pro tip for you. Think about shooting in black and white. This slide shows you exactly why. When you strip away the color, you strip away distractions. All of the viewer's attention goes right to the drama of the motion itself, that sharp subject against the streaky, blurred world flying by. It just looks awesome.
Okay, before you grab your camera and run out the door, we need to talk about expectations. Panning is a skill, and just like any skill, it's going to take some practice.
You have to remember that this is what Jim Richardson calls a percentage game. You are not going to nail this on your first try, or your 10th, or maybe even your 20th. The goal is not to get a perfect shot every time. The goal is to play the odds until you get that one amazing winner.
Seriously, when you're just starting out, getting one great shot out of 100 tries is completely normal. So please don't get discouraged. I promise you, that one great shot will feel so good, it'll be totally worth it.
But here's the good news. As you practice, as you get the feel for the movement, your odds get way better.
Eventually, getting one keeper out of every 10 shots, that's considered major league success. That's the goal you're aiming for.
And remember, there's no single correct shutter speed or one perfect technique. Think of it like the Goldilocks effect. You have to find what's just right for your subject speed and your background. The real key here is to just experiment. Take a shot, look at it, figure out what worked and what didn't, and then just try again.
So there you have it. You've got the theory, you've got the technique, and you've got the right mindset. Now it's your turn to put it all together.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to this one idea: perfect, synchronized motion. Just match the speed of your subject, stay smooth, and let that beautiful blur do all the work for you.
You have all the tools you need. The only thing left to do is get out there and practice. A passing car, a kid on a bike, a dog running in the park, your first masterpiece is just waiting for you. So the only question left is, what moving object will you sync with?